How's it going, everybody? So today we are, oh, there we go, there goes Twitter. Today we are back for another round of Stranded. I was asleep, or I was trying to sleep last night, and I accidentally couldn't help but work on this game in my head, and so I woke up and I started working on it. We're actually going to be organizing out the idea for Stranded today, as far as what are the actual cards that you're working with. So, yeah, today is going to be a little boring, unless you are okay with that. I'm going to be discussing out loud my thoughts on why I'm choosing to go the route that I'm going. I suppose I should go ahead and pull up Internet Explorer to show you the game real quick. Too bad, so sad, Internet Explorer. Okay, let's go to games. I'm going to make Stranded, and we'll show you what this game is like real quick. I'll give you a real quick explanation of how it works, and then I will start designing cards. So for those of you who are interested in this game and how it works, this is a selfish co-op game. Seems pretty interesting to me. I've played selfish co-ops before, and they're really fun. So as soon as this loads, if it ever loads, what is happening? There's some sort of an error. There we go. Now it'll load. So this game is a I'm going to say 3 to 6 players. I think it has to be 3 to 6 players. Oh, let me reset this, huh? Restart game. So this is the way that this works. All right, first of all, there are going to be 60 cards, not 30. I haven't designed all of them yet. All of them, there are 3 different types. Here, let's do this. Let's go ahead and just shuffle till we get a different color. There we go. Green, and shuffle. And shuffle. Give me a red. Give me a red card. Come on. There should be... There we go. There are 3 cards here. This game is based on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And the way that it works is, if you know Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the base level that people need in their life is essentially sustenance. Sleep and food and stuff like that, right? The things that the body needs specifically. Then it moves on to what the mind needs. Well, kind of the body/mind, then the mind entirely. So the first stage is sustenance. You need sustenance. So these are sustenance cards. There's a resource on one side. If we look at this here, so you have the resource on one side, and then you have an event on the other side, which is going to be what you have to beat, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. After sustenance, the next level is essentially safety. So it's shelter and defense, and physical defense. So protect your body. Not only do you need to provide your body with its necessary things, but you need to also protect it from being damaged in any way. So these two kind of actually represent that together. This is shelter and defense. And so shelter starts, first, and then defense is second, really. So we'll start here. So again, if we flip this over, you have the event on the dark side and the resource on the light side, and then defense is going to be the defense on the event on the dark side and the resource on the light side. So those are the 3 things that you're going to be aiming to master in order to beat this game. Each player comes with their own influence card, which I'm going to be redoing some of these things, I think. And then there's a group morale. So the idea is that we have been stranded on a habitable planet, and we have to survive until we're picked up, essentially. And so there's going to be a game track here as well. These are all tracks. They will probably just be a card that has the numbers on it, you know, what your morale and stuff like that is. We can fit all of this on one card, all of this on one card. That way everything comes in card form. I think I just did this to be to visually see what I wanted to see. So anyway, so we'll shuffle this up and we'll draw 3 cards, and we'll give that to this person. And we'll draw 3 cards, and we'll give that to this person. And we'll draw 3 cards here, and we will give that to this person here. Okay, so what happens is we are all trying to survive, and we're all trying to work as a group to survive, but we're also trying to win our own goals. So what I don't have here are goal cards. Each person is going to be dealt 1 goal, and then or maybe 2 goals, I'm not sure. And then after that, if you complete a goal, you take a new goal. And those completed goals are going to be worth a certain number of points. And those points are going to be how you win the game. So if you're selfish, you'll go for those. If you're not selfish, you'll try to make the team survive, essentially. Yeah, so we probably won't be using dice in this. This is going to be a complete card game. I never said anything that... Yeah, we're definitely not going to be using dice in here. Okay, so this is like my first micro game, so to speak. It's my first... Well, it's not really micro. It's just my first small, simple game. I mean, as you can see on here, it's very little text. I want to do as little as possible. Oh, yeah. I'd rather not use dice. I'd rather just have, like, 1 card, like, card-shaped here that has all of these dots on it just arranged, and they were numbered so you could actually follow through, you know, basically put this here, and then move it over to here, and then move it over to here, etc. Okay, so everybody's also going to start out with 1 crew member, and I haven't actually... You know what? Maybe they don't start out with a crew member. The idea is that, you know, you have people who some of these resources are actually people, and you can have people to increase your influence over the group, and you can have people to increase your ability to gather resources in order to trade and stuff like that. So this is how the game works. Can you get points from helping the group? Okay, so you guys win the game by helping the group, but you only get points by helping yourself. There is a little bit of a... There might be some goals that are very group-oriented, but really you are trying to do it because it will get you points and influence and stuff. So let's see. So this is what happens. So first of all, this is how the gameplay will work. This is the event deck. This is the resource and event deck right here, since these cards are both resource and events. You see that it's yellow, right? So that means that this is going to be a yellow resource, and the next one's going to be a red resource. So you're trying to bid for the light side here. So where this says 1 for a lean-to. So this is a shelter card, right? So a lean-to gives 1 point of effectiveness in a situation like this. So we're bidding on this card right now. So the way that bidding works is that let's say this player right here is the starting player, and they go, you know what? I really want that card. I want to be the king of yellow, of that, as much as possible. Or maybe their goal says, you know, collect 3 points worth of shelter cards, yellow cards, right? So the way that it works right here is I will... so this card comes out and we're bidding on the 1 right there. So in order to bid, I might go, I'm going to bid 1. And what's nice is that nobody else has 2 of something, so they actually can't outbid me. It has to be 2 of the same exact thing. So let's say I win that. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna bid green because I don't really care about these other colors. So I'm gonna bid green. Nobody else can bid. It doesn't have to match. It doesn't have to match the color or anything. So I win that bid. So this card goes here as the bid card, and I actually gain this. Now for the group, I am contributing 1 shelter point towards any yellow events that we might be going up against. And actually, green is a bad idea. This is what I should do, just to show you. I should bid a yellow, and I'll show you why in a second. So this card comes up here, and I win this. Nobody else can outbid 1, so I win it automatically, unfortunately for them. So now this is now this card will now be flipped over and become the event card. Again, if you count up all of the yellow that we're contributing, it's only 1 point right here, 1 down here. This is the event. So we're going to flip this over, and this says you need this is the event side, this is the resource side. So whatever I bid becomes the event that we have to actually overcome. So this right here says you need 1 shelter for every crew member. Now, if we look around the board, there are no crew members. We got really lucky. Let's just pretend that this guy here is a crew member, and that guy has it. So that means we need 1 yellow for every crew member, and I just happen to have that 1 yellow. Yes! Okay, so we beat it. We beat the threshold up there. So now that I beat the threshold, this then goes away. We beat it. But then we have to look, okay, so failure is everyone would have to discard a card, and reward is the person with the most influence draws 1 card. Now, obviously, that's not how it's really going to work, or maybe it is to a loose degree. We're going to be designing the cards today. I just wanted to get the idea out there. And then so the person with the most influence, which is all of us, gets to draw 1 card. So let's just say everybody draws 1 card, right? So this guy draws a card, I draw a card, he draws a card. So now we've all got 1 card. But then on top of that, whoever contributes the most resource to an event will actually gain an influence point. So I just gained 1 influence point. So now this is where it gets real tricky. Let's say we flip this card over. We see, oh, cool, let's flip that over. Oh, no, it's a tragedy card, right? So a tragedy card, it just happens automatically. And that's really unfortunate. A tragedy card will be, like, let's say, you know, wound a crew member. So let's pretend this guy here has a crew member, and this guy here has a crew member, and I don't have any crew members. Or, you know what, screw it. Let's say I have a crew member too, right? So what would happen there is I would then say, okay, this tragedy is going to be kill 1 crew member. So 1 crew member dies. They go out on a scavenging mission, and some creature kills them, or they slip and they fall off a cliff, or whatever the tragedy is. Now, the person with the most influence is the one who actually gets to decide who that happens to. So having the most influence means you can make sure shit doesn't happen to you, but also having the most influence means that you need to make the tough decisions for the group. It also means that making those tough decisions, people might actually hate you for it. So I don't want to lose my crew member, but you know what? I'm going to look around the board and I'm going to say, we don't have any green. He's the only person who's contributing green resource. We have a yellow, a red, and 2 red and a green. Well, you know what? Since we already have red, I'm going to have to kill a red crew member. And then you think, that's really unfortunate because I have a crew member and so does he. And I don't want to lose my crew member. And I also want to make it harder for him to reach his goals and be the most powerful in the group, because if I give up the influence to him, he could then kill me. So I'm going to try to keep him down as much as possible. So I'm going to kill his crew member. So everyone hates me a little bit for killing his crew member because they know that I did it selfishly. But at the same time, everyone realizes that someone's got to make the tough decisions, and there are times where you just have to say, sorry, your character dies, or sorry, you lose your entire hand, or sorry, you lose 3 influence, etc. Or you know, you lose 2 influence for every 1 influence I lose. You know, some sort of spite or something like that. Like, that'd be infighting tragedy or something. So anyway, that would be how a tragedy card works. So let's say these are our cards now. He's not contributing jack shit. Actually, here, let's give him this resource just so that he's contributing a little bit of a resource. Now, let's say this guy flips over, right? We bid or whatever, and blah blah blah, and somebody bids this guy. Let's say there are multiple bids. Let's get another yellow card here. So let's say I bid 2 yellow cards for this red card down here that I now have, right? Now, what that means, that's a little difficult, because if I contribute if I bid 2 yellow cards to gain a red card, I haven't actually gained a lot of yellow power in order to deal with all of this. But I made the decision based on what the group has. The group has 2 yellow cards, so that's good. So since this was the bid, I flip this over, and this says 1 per crew member. And it's like, oh shit, we have 2 crew members. Oh good, we have 2 yellow resources that we're contributing, so we beat this one. Sweet. Then we get whatever the value of that is. And then let's say we flip this one over, and let's say this is 6, or let's say this is 5 shelter. This costs 5 shelter. Okay, so that's really, really difficult to do, since we only have 2 yellow cards. So what we would do is I would say, okay, we have 2 yellow cards. That's 2 out of the 5 points that we need to try to get. So we need 3 more points. Now, how are we going to do that? Do we just automatically fail? No, not necessarily. The cards that you have here to bid with, you can actually flip over temporarily to become a point card, a point value, a resource value to overcome this threshold. So, for example, if this is 5 and we have 1, 2 available, I'm gonna say, you know what? No. Let me flip it over. Let me flip it over. And then he's like, no, dude, I have more cards. Let me flip it over. And I'm like, okay, interesting. Why does he want to flip it over? Might be some sort of a goal where he contributes cards from his hand, or you know, he's trying to contribute the most to gain the most influence. So he goes, let me flip it over. I have the most cards. And I go, that is true. He does have the most cards. I don't have enough cards to make a bid next round. It would be nice to get him lower on the bid. However, if he contributes the most in the end, like if he flips this over and it's a 3, and we both have 1s, and we beat this for some reason, he actually gains an influence. So you're like, he's gambling. He doesn't know what this card is, but he's gambling that this is enough to do it. So let's say he flips it over, it's only a 1. Oh no, so it's 1, 2, 3 right here. We still didn't beat this 5. And I go, okay, well, I could purposely lose this for everybody because I don't want to give up this card, but I could also go in and try to beat it. Now the thing is, the cards that you flip over in order to try to temporarily boost your stat, those cards are going to be discarded at the end of the round. So I could be selfish and say, I'm just going to let you take that hit, and we fail it, so you lose a card, and whatever the failure thing is here, everyone discards a card. And I would have to discard a card anyway, so you know what? Let's just go in on it. And so let's say this was 3. So I now contribute 3 plus 1 is 4. He contributes 1 and he contributes 1. So that's 6, which overcomes the 5 value. Yay, we win it! So we win it. And then I get to gain an influence. And I made him, you know, kind of lose a card, and then I lost a card too because I went in on cards that, you know, using cards that I didn't technically have. I kind of went out and stretched our resources a little too thin. And then at the beginning of the turn, we each draw a card equal to 1 plus the number of crew members, and then you add in the morale. So let's say we had failed a bunch of morale, right? So we would all draw 1 plus the number of crew members. Well, I have a crew member, he has a crew member, and he has a crew member, so we all get 1. And then we would get our normal 1, except the morale says that we've lost enough morale that we don't get to draw an additional card. So we all get only 1 card instead. Now, if we had gotten our morale high enough from winning enough of them, we could actually get, you know, I would be able to draw 1 card because of my crew member, 1 card because my base draw, and then 1 card because of my morale. I would draw 3, he would draw 3, he would draw 3. Now, if he didn't have a crew member, he would only draw 2. So crew members are generally going to have weaker stats, but they're going to have the ability to draw you an extra card, which gives you more stuff. There's one more thing. I talked about tragedies earlier. Now, let's say there was a card here, and we were trying to overcome the event of the card, and it was green, and we had no green, and he goes, you know what, I'm going to flip over my green to try to help. And it's a tragedy card. Unfortunately, that tragedy happens right then and there, and it doesn't count towards trying to complete this. And on top of that, the person with the most influence still gets to decide who this tragedy happens to. So, unfortunately, tragedies are unavoidable. They are going to happen in this game. So I'm going to make them rare, but very powerful and game-changing. So that's how the game's going to work. It's going to be a shift of balance. I'm going to design some of the cards out first, and then once I've got the cards designed out, I'll start designing out the actual goals of the game. So yeah, so that's how it's going to work, and then we'll actually be able to do a full play member. If you have no crew member and fail and get no new cards, you get no new cards. Well, no, it has nothing to do with failing. It means that if your morale is low enough and you have no crew members, then you do not get to draw a new card. Now, that means you could be stuck with no cards, none whatsoever. I've thought about this, and I was thinking, wow, that really sucks. I wonder if that's game-breaking. And then I started thinking, well, maybe there can be, like, spreading the wealth. Players could give people other cards. I'm setting the max number of cards to 10, so the likelihood of you getting down to 0 is low because you won't. The psychology of the player won't let themselves get super low. However, there might be a goal that says, get gifted 1 card, at least 1 card. So that means that somebody that means that somebody could like say, you know what, dude, we really need you to have cards. I'm about to draw up to 12, and I can only hold 10 cards, so I'm going to give you my excess cards. And so if people are gifting other people cards, that is where like maybe one goal will come in there, or maybe everybody is keeping everybody afloat with the gifting of cards, which I actually haven't written down, even though it was a thought in my head. So maybe I should go write that down real quick. Let's open up Working It Out. Hold on one second. I'll read chat in 1 second. Let me write this down. Example round. Give each player one crew member randomly. By the way, if anybody wants to look at this document right here, this is all of the information that I have for it right now. Some of it might actually be wrong. Give blah 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 blah. Draw a card at the start of the round. One for, let's see. If you have, I should say, yeah. Period. If you would have more than 10, you must give those cards to a teammate, to another player, I should say, another player. If everyone has max cards, those cards are instead discarded. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, so here are my like losing things and winning things, like bad things and good things. This is loose info. This is like, I'm not really sure where this belongs right now. This is kind of design info, but there are good things that can happen from winning, and there are bad things that can happen from losing, and then there are different types of tragedies, and then there's targeting. So what are the good things happen to? Who do the bad things happen to, etc. Yeah, different types of targeting. And then the things that I have to make, I actually made the influence track and the morale track. I'm actually going to delete all of this, and we'll just put cards, more cards. There we go. This was like an amount that I was thinking, but I think I actually came up with a different setup here, which I'll go over in a second. The tragedy card is flipped to help pay for an event. The tragedy strikes immediately, then the event continues. Yeah, that's a brutal rule. Okay, let me go back and read some of this stuff real quick. Like layered shit, get the water factory running again, but the subversion first version wanted to get running again as they over the factory. Okay, I see. Yeah. It's you're making yeah, no, it's okay. You are making it a little too complex with those ideas. I'm trying to keep it like ridiculously simple, so it's a fast game. This is like Bridge on Crack. So you draw a card, you get a card for a crew member, and then you can either lose a card or gain a card or no card. Then does that not mean if you have a crew member and fail, you get no new cards? So the draw phase is separate. So you would draw up first, and then you would put the new card out to bid on, and once that card is out there to bid on, everybody decides what they might bid, and then whoever the winning bid is, those bids are going to then be put face down in the center, and those will become the events that you have to overcome. And then those cards, the winning card goes to the person who won the bid takes that card that they were bidding on, and then you flip over one of the bid cards at a time that become an event. And you have to defeat that event. If you lose, it goes away, the effects happen, and you go to the next one. So if somebody bids 4 and wins with 4, you guys have to fight 4 events, which is crazy. Especially because it's going to be all the same color, which means there's a good chance you're just going to keep losing. I might make it so that it's not all of one color. I'm not really certain yet. Right now it is, just to keep it simple, but it might change. And then, so you could just bid any number of cards, kind of thing. Any number of any type of cards. I'm not sure if I like that yet. I have to play with it first. Then the next thing is, after those, if you win a bid, then you go to the next one. Or, I'm sorry, if you win the event, you go to the next event. You just have to go through all the events. And then, if those events tell you to discard cards and stuff like that, that's what you do. So if that makes any more sense. Let's see, which someone could go card broke, and that sucks, which means you can spoil someone. Nah, because if they are in a good position and someone wants to lock them down, you can, but at some serious cost, and it's a positional thing only. Like, that person has to have lost a crew member already, and they have to lose the challenge as a group. Right? Yeah, you could screw people over on purpose, but remember, any overflow cards that you would have from your hand of 10 would then go to the person with the least cards, or people that you deem need them. You gotta play a game hand of this before playing a game of Scramble, and whatever crew survives from that one counts for a crew in the next game. Oh god. I think it's situational enough to be a nice mechanic. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead, now that you guys have seen kind of how the game works. I'm gonna go ahead and start actually working on the cards. These were some really loose ideas. So, for example, this is a 1 value and a 2 event. And the reason why I want the event to always be higher than the value of the actual resource on the card. That way, if you're the first person to get this, you might be stuck. For example, like, let's say I earned a 1. Like, does this even make sense? No, it doesn't really make sense. It could be whatever the hell I feel it could be. But that's okay. I think I'm going to keep it always just higher just in case. So failure is lose 1 morale, and everyone loses 1 morale. And the reward is the least influenced person draws 1 card. So sometimes you might like, that's cool, let's lose a morale because I don't want him to draw a card, something like that. And that would be really rude, but again, it's as a group. You want everyone to succeed, but at the same time, you want to try to succeed more than others. Proves good programmer art stand-ins. Thank you. Yeah, these are pretty decent, right? Let's see. That was the green one. The red one is failure is the least helpful wounds a crew member. This is a pretty serious one. So wounding a crew member means you don't get to draw a card from that crew member. You still get the resources, but you don't get to draw a card, an extra card. So least helpful would be whoever helped the most towards this event. So if we got to if it was a 4 and I provided 0 and the next person next to me provided a 1 and the next person provided a 1 and the most we get to is 2 and they failed, and like the 4th player failed it on purpose just so that it would make me wound my crew member. That could be something you do, but it's not necessarily something you should do, but you could do it. Anyway, the reward is peek at your neighbor's goal. So you can see, if you win it, you can see what your neighbor, one of your neighbors is trying to achieve, which is really helpful because then you can tell if they're being a dick specifically to get their goal or not. So that's how that works. And then the yellow one, failure is everyone discards 1 card, and reward is most influence draws 1 card. So stuff like that. Can your goal change? Like that peak mechanic, great, but if the neighbor can also change or have multiple goals, yeah, each player is going to have anywhere between 1 and 3 goals. I haven't really decided yet the initial goal that you have, so you might have 3 different goals you can try to achieve, but the idea is that when you achieve 1 goal, you flip it over and you say, I've achieved this goal and these points are now mine, and then I would get a new goal card to replace that one. So essentially you have a replenishing goal system. That's the word I'm looking for. So getting to peak at one of your opponent's goals might not matter that much as long as there are, as long as each player has 3 goals or something like that. But yeah, I think that it's going to work out pretty well in the end. This game, by the way, just in case anybody is wondering, was actually designed on the fly very quickly on the Designer Hot Seat Challenge that we have on the podcast that I'm part of. So Chris Renshaw, my co-host, he actually came up with like a list of things that he rolled his dice twice and just randomly chose those 2 things. So basically, I think he came out with you're stranded on a habitable planet, and then the other thing was face down bid mechanic. So bidding mechanic or blind bidding mechanic, and so a blind bidding mechanic would be something like I bid $30 to get that card that I don't know what it is. But instead, what I did was I switched that around. I said, you know what, this is a blind mechanic, blind bidding mechanic. In that, sure, we get to see what the thing that we're bidding for is. However, I'm going to bid this card face down as the resource that's on the back of it, and the blind part is that resource actually ends up becoming the event that you have to then overcome. And the reason why I decided you had to overcome something is because with being stranded, the word stranded was really strong to me. It meant that like I immediately thought Lost, the show Lost, and how screwed they were, and they were trying to then build up resources to have a small community and survive the weather and the weird things that are happening, and then they had to survive each other. And that's what I thought when I heard stranded. And so because of that, I was like, oh man, okay, I'm going to base this off of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And so this entire game is based off of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So I'll show you that real quick, and then we'll actually finally get going on the design of these cards. So if I go to these images here, so physiological needs, that's going to be the base of the game, and that's the sustenance. The green here is this red here, right? And then you have safety. Safety is going to be shelter and defense. And so those are the things that you really would bid on, right? But then the love and belonging is not something that you trade to bid on. But the love and belonging and community, that's this whole game, is we're working together to try to beat out everybody else. And then the esteem comes from trying to have the most influence in the game, right? If we have a lot of if I have a lot of influence, I'm important. I get to make decisions, and that's the esteem, self-esteem, and considering yourself, to be important and stuff like that. Confidence and achievement, and then the self-actualization is all about like. Also the esteem is the goal system. So you have goals and that you have to actually achieve to be important, to feel good about yourself, and to just be a better person. Well, actually, no, I lied. It's not to be a better person. Actually, the next part, self-actualization, is morality, creativity, spontaneity, problem solving, lack of prejudice, and acceptance of facts, right? So the self-actualization is actually the result of how you are achieving your goals. So it's not just about achieving your goals and getting self-esteem. It's about, do you step on people to achieve those goals? Do you help people to achieve those goals? And so I'm going to have a breadth of goals that are very selfish and also team-oriented and also, kind of neutral and stuff like that. So hopefully this game is the embodiment of a Maslow's hierarchy of needs group game, essentially. It's completely based off of this right here, which I find really interesting. It kind of drove my decision making during this designer hot seat. So I had like 20 minutes to make a game out loud, and it turned out to be pretty interesting. So now we're making it here. And then obviously I did it to Chris in the reverse too, and he came up with a pretty fun little idea as well, being what was it? It was traffic and line of sight. So it kind of turned out to be like a Mario Kart-esque style game, except that instead of it being a race, it became this mundane thing that you do every day is turned into something fantastic. Meaning like driving to work every day. It seems really mundane, or going to a kid's birthday party and having to get there on time. But now you have to deal with cars with missiles and grannies that can transform their car into a tank and run you off the road and weird shit, and obviously like I'm making some of this stuff up, but Chris was the architect of the idea based off of my two randomly suggested pieces, which was pretty interesting. Okay, so let's see here. I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna explain this grid that I have here. So first of all, we're gonna do the sustenance cards. Let's do sustenance. Sustenance. There we go. I always forget how to spell it. And then, so we're gonna have resource names, which we'll fill out after. and then we're going to have the value of that resource. So tragedies don't have any value, right? So this is 0, 0, 0, 0. And then the event name itself, what actually happens, and then the event threshold. So these are unavoidable, basically. I should actually delete these. Yeah. So this is all NA right here, n/a. N/a, n/a, n/a. So these are unavoidable things, n/a, 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 and n/a. And then the failure of it, there is no success for it. So this is going to be really, really tough here. Alright, let's take all these and put these to the right. There we go. So yeah, we'll have the event name and we'll have the failure. The success won't actually matter here. And then we have, let's see, sustenance. So let's call these like berries, right? So you found some berries. Then let's move up and let's do leafy green, right? And then let's move up from there, berries and leafy green. Let's move up to fruit, large fruit. And we're just gonna go kind of concept this stuff out. Large fruit, or like, let's see, not large fruit. Ooh, I almost deleted everything. How about like orange, right? I'll just kind of make this stuff up with real words, and then we'll go and we'll just do like fruit and stuff. Actually, maybe, yeah, let's do it this way. So it'll be like, the art will be inspired by these things. Orange, let's do like apple, and then threes would be more like a grapefruit. Sorry, not a grapefruit. A watermelon. And then after watermelon would be like a pumpkin, right? And then 4 would be rodent, and then 5 would be fox, and then 6 would be deer and bear, right? So those are kind of like the levels of. Here, we'll just put cabbage, right? So berries, cabbage, orange, apple, watermelon, pumpkin, rodent, fox, bear, deer, and bear. And these are not like, these are not going to be what they are because we're on a different planet. So these are just going to drive the idea behind it. Event name. So let's see, some sort of threshold, easy to beat threshold sustenance. Here we'll do something like this. Like this is deep, or we'll put hail here, and then we'll put frost as the big ones that will kind of kill food and stuff like that. And then we'll have below that what kind of other sustenance related things, parasite, or not parasite, like an infestation, and then like let's see, rodent. What's slightly less than an infestation? Kind of like a rotting, Yeah, we'll call it rotting. And then before that is like animal thief, animal thief. So it's been stolen from you. Let's see, what else? What else would happen to food? What about one person like eats it all or something like that, or maybe some sort of an accident, like something that you would need more sustenance for, less than some of these big ones here. Man, this is tough. I'm trying to think of some ideas. Spoilage. Well, that's kind of the rotting. I'm gonna put spoilage here instead of rotting. Animal thief, what's slightly less than that? Like maybe one person eats it all. Bad containment. Oh yeah, like farm or soil. Oh yeah. Let's do something with the soil. Let's do sour soil, right? Because that's a thing that happens. Bad refrigeration. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. So containment. How about I think animal thief is actually less of an issue, and sour soil is more of an issue. And actually, spoilage is probably less of an issue than... There we go. Right, and then animal thief is down there. Dry spell. Oh yeah, drought. There we go. Let's do that. Drought is more dangerous than spoilage, actually, I think. Animal thief. Let's see. Dust devils, tornado, flood, drought. Yeah. I want to go less and less now. I think the containment is a good idea. So animal thief, and then just before that would be a containment issue. Oh, right. Yeah, Joviex. Well, that might be more for the defense and shelter stuff. I think I want weather to be... Like, no, you notice at the end here, weather's kind of drizzled into here. Get it? Ah, ha, ha, ha. Drizzled. It's kind of like sprinkled into here a little bit, but it's not the main cause of food issues. It's part of it, but not all of it. I want weather to be more for the what do you call it? The shelter one. So hail might actually not make it here. I think I might put hail somewhere else. So we're gonna delete that and just move all these down one. I think hail will be, hail and rain and stuff like that. I think material, like, so should I just put poor containment? I think I'm just gonna put poor containment because it makes sense. So then let's go slightly less of a bad situation than poor containment. Like, what about big portions? Like we handed out big portions or something like that. Shelter looks like shit, but it's not even shitty enough to contain their shit you need for your soil. Build it or lose. Yeah, there you go. That's all, right? Yeah, what are you doing, man? Where's your grammar? Your over your. Jeez. Okay, so I need something slightly less bad than poor containment. Kind of like maybe overserved, like heaping portions. And then maybe something like hungry crew. And then maybe one less, the least bad thing that can happen that you have to overcome is, how about a baby? Somebody had a baby. Yeah, paranoia. Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, kind of. Yeah, I kind of like these, though. These are okay. Yeah, greed and stuff like that. I mean, that's kind of like the hungry crew. The crew members, like, people who go out and actually do stuff, they're gonna want more food. So that's the greed kind of thing coming into play there. Okay, so upon failing a baby, what happens? Upon failing to provide food for a baby, maybe a baby is like actually really big. What's up, Breaks? Damn crew couldn't keep it in their pants. Now we have a baby. What's up, Breaks? How's it going, man? Welcome back. Failure for a baby would be something like, this could be like, something big for crew. Draw one card if you have a crew member. Yeah, something like that, right? So that'd be the success. So each person gets to draw one as long as they have a crew member. And evil people can't stand baby loss. Babies equal new gen to teach. Yeah. Well, I need a simple failure. So let's look at our failures real quick. Our failure options that I have, things that you can actually, discarding a card, losing morale, lose influence, wounding a crew member, add the top card of the pile to the bid pile, replace your goal, forced, lose a built shelter card, lose a built sustenance card, lose a built defense card. So those are going to be at the end, right? So so basically, I think I wrote it in here that sustenance loses it messes can make people too weak to use defenses, so it kills defense cards. So let's make this big one here. Let's do a failure is lose defense card, right? Everybody will lose one defense card, so it screws over the opposing types. And then this one here would be sorry, thinking. Okay, so success if you draw one if you have a crew member. Success for beating this 11 one would be draw 3 cards. Flip 1 over automatically. Yeah, draw 3 cards, flip 1 over, keep the rest. I think that one's huge if you can manage to do that. Actually, no, sorry, just draw 3 cards. Draw 3 cards, flip 1 over is kind of interesting. That's kind of interesting. Everyone draws 3 cards and flips 1 over. That's kind of interesting. I don't know how I really want that. Yeah, the lose defense cards, lose resource cards. That's gonna be failure for this one. Like lose 3 resources, right? Or resource cards. And that's basically the face down ones. Those are the face down ones. Hold on one second. Jesus, why is this not working? And then we'll go down to here and we'll lose 2 resource cards, and then we'll go up to here and we'll do discard. Oh, I should say discard. Yeah, discard 1 card, right? I'm just gonna put discard 2 cards and discard 3 cards. Infestation success, more resources, more food. Yeah, I'm not really trying to make it make perfect sense. It doesn't actually have to make perfect sense. But yes, yeah. I'm gonna write all these things down, and then I'm gonna go back through and actually think about them. I kind of want to get out like equivalents, and then I'll reorganize. Let's see, draw 3 cards, and this one here would be draw 2 cards, and then this one here would be draw 1 card. Alright, so I'm putting them diagonal. I want them to be just slightly better. Lose a defense card. Lose a defense card. There we go. So lose and discard are very different. Lose is for when you have a card that you flipped, that you've bought, and you can actually lose that. I might actually make it so that there's more loss in here, highest influence loses defense card. And then something like 1 more in here somewhere. Let's put this here. And then we'll go here. If we don't beat this one, highest or lowest influence loses a defense card. Or better yet, how about we wound a crew member? Wounding a crew member is pretty big. Highest influence loses a defense card. There's 2 ways to lose a defense card in here. Lose a defense card on Frost. Lose a defense card on Drought. What are good things that can happen? Oops, what is this? Let's look at good things real quick. Good things. Draw a card. Gain morale. Oh yeah, gain morale and influence. Heal a crew member. Let's do some lose morale stuff. Lose 2 morale. And then this one up here will be lose 1 morale. Let's see, what else do we have? Wound a crew member, add the top card of the pile from the bit. Oh, yeah. I'm going to move all these down. And we're going to do add top card of deck to events. There we go, something like that. Hey, what's up, Lukey? How's it going? Then we need some 2 small ones. Lose influence. Yeah, so let's do this. Highest influence loses 1 influence. And then this one here would be let's see. I didn't put wound a crew member in here. I think there should be 3 ways to wound crew members. So let's do what's actually pretty hard here. Let's do this and wound a crew member. Wound crew member. There we go. So okay, so this looks okay. So let's see. A baby failure is you discard 1 card. Hungry crew is highest influence loses 1 influence. Then heaping portions, you lose 1 morale if you fail it. Poor containment, discard 2 cards. Animal thief, highest influence loses a defense card. Actually, these are not technically. What's interesting is you know, basically, like if I bid on this card, if I bid on this one here, it technically has no connection to this right here. But what it does mean is that if I bid on this, then that means that this event is not going to happen because I've taken it out of the deck. So they do have to be somewhat balanced. By bidding on this, I take out a 2 from the deck, which is good. Let's say I win that bid. That means you're not just gaining these resources, but you're also taking this out of here. So let's look at it that way. Let's go back and look at it that way. That's kind of oh, good, Lukey. Did it make sense to you, man, when you watched it played? Oops. Okay, so if you win the event threshold 2, you take out the discard of 1. If you win the event threshold... I'm actually going to put this baby... I'm going to move... I think having a baby and failing to feed a baby is pretty big, honestly. Okay, so basically, if you have a hungry crew and you fail, it's only a 2, and you fail to feed them, everyone discards 1 card. Actually, only the highest influence person will discard 1 card. I think maybe it should just... the bad shit should happen to the highest influence person. Like, discarding cards should only happen to highest influence. So that doesn't hurt the group, but it does hurt Oh, in that case, you know what? If I'm going to be thinking about it that way, high influence loses a defense card. Highest influence is really good to have, but if you fail, that's how the other people can gang up on you to make you fail. Manic Scheme, great, can't wait to play. I think losing to an infestation would end up wounding one or more crew members. Well, the infestation is of the food, so it's not really about that. It's more about losing resources instead. But again, I'm not actually managing what these things are right here. I mean, I kind of am. Losing, we're going to go with lose 3 morale here, and then lose 2 morale there, so that it's impactful. Highest influence discards 3 cards. Add top of the card to the deck event, oh, actually, you know what I'll do? Screw it, that'll be a tragedy. I think this one right here should be, let's see, lose a defense card. Is that everybody? Highest influence loses a defense card. I think I want the bad things mostly to happen to high influence players. But it also has to be a group thing. So I'm going to make the morale really, really tough. Loses 4 morale. Which, if we look at our morale thing here, if it starts here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's brutal. And then if we're up here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have the ability to just stay within the same one that you're in, but it could really screw you over. Okay, so lose 4 morale. You could be losing pretty hard right off the bat. Let's do gain 3 morale. I want morale to be difficult to get, so let's see. And then this one, lose 2 morale, is gain 1 morale here, and then gain 2 morale here. So this one would be success is everyone draw 1 card. Let's see how I feel about this in a second. Let me write this up, and then I'll see how I feel about it. Oops, I hit everyone draw 2 cards, and everyone draw 3 cards. So success is for the group. Failure is for the highest influence player. I kind of like that idea. Let's see how I feel here. Let's keep going. Wound a crew member. Highest influence wound a crew member. Let's see how I feel about this in a second. So let's say we have a hungry crew. It's going to be an event threshold of 2. If you fail, the highest influence discards a card. If you succeed, everyone draws 1 card. So everyone wants to help, but at the same time, the person who wants to help the most is the highest influence person. Everyone else can go, you know what, I don't need a card if it means he loses a card. I kind of like that. Sacrifice gains to hurt the top member. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I kind of like that a lot. Like, oh, you're in charge? You're the one who makes the tough decisions? Well, we're rebelling, even though, like, it's kind of a forced rebellion. I kind of really like that. I think I'm gonna go with that. Everyone draws 2 cards, yeah. So highest influence discards 2 cards. And I think that's actually going to have to go... No, this is good. This is a good spot. Highest influence loses 1. And then in this case, I'm going to give highest influence... Highest influence gives... How do we reward people for making so, like, the highest influence loses 1 influence. That means the highest influence person really wants to try to succeed. How do we make it so that everyone else also wants to succeed? Everyone draws a goal. So having more goals means more points. So highest influence, yeah, I kind of like that. Everyone draws a goal, but the highest influence person would lose 1 influence if they say, I don't need another goal. It's okay. Okay, I kind of like that. Highest influence loses a defense card. And then... actually, instead of draw one goal, should be... No, I don't mind that. I don't mind that. Highest influence loses a defense card. That's huge. That's really huge. That one needs to be... that one needs to be... Man, that's a 6, huh? That's pretty tough. Highest influence loses a defense card. Oh, we've already got that happening twice in here. Wounds a crew member. I think that one is actually weaker than losing that right there. Okay, and then I would say these top highest influence loses a defense card. That might happen, but they might not have any defense cards. Alright, so everybody else is highest influence discards 3 cards. Everyone draws 3 cards. Highest influence loses a defense card. Everyone... Actually, this one is... Everyone draw 2 cards. Gain... gain 2 morale. I think morale should be in here more. Should be sprinkled in here a bit more. Gain 2 morale. I like that. Everyone draw 2 cards, gain 2 morale. I think I'm going to do more morale things, too. So that it's kind of going up and down a little bit more. So this means that there's more positive morale. Plus 1 defense card. No, I don't want it to be... I don't want it to be a specific... You don't get a specific thing. Because the way that it is, the deck here is made of random cards. So I don't want people to have to search through in order to find, oh, here's a defense card, here's a defense card, and then here's a defense card. And then all of these are like, you know, what do you do with these things? I don't want that to happen. I want it to be very streamlined. Highest influence wounds a crew member. Huh. Highest influence wounds a crew member. So that's going to be... everyone heals a crew member. Gain 2 morale. Okay, I like that. Highest influence loses a defense card. What is equal? Oh, maybe we'll do more goals things. Everyone draws 2 goals. Okay. Alright, that's not bad. I like this so far. So now we have crew members. So the way that crew members, we'll go Bobby. Actually, we'll put Joe, Elise, and Emily. Right? We'll just make these be our crew members. So their resource values are 1, 2, and 3, and they gain interesting things. They're from success. Oh, they actually have to have a special resource value. 1, 2, and 3, but then discard 1, draw 1. Action. So they're going to have actions as well that they can perform on their turn. I'm actually going to go ahead and discard one and draw one. Action. I should actually make this a separate thing. So let's do... I think I would have to move everything over. Oh, actually, no. I'll do this. I wish it would just fucking auto resize. So crew members have additional actions on top of being able to draw one card. Crew action. Here we go. Okay, crew actions. Those are going to be... Why are all these twos? Oh, right. Okay, that's fine. Let's take this real quick. Drag this down. We'll take this and drag this up. All right, crew. Actually, I'd rather move the tragedies down. Because we're going to duplicate this template to figure out all this stuff. You want a morale to be hard to get, though. I do, but you have to actually beat these things. And because the thing is, hard to get, if you flip over an 8 on the very first turn, you're fucked. You can't beat that. You're screwed. Like, that's hard to beat. So you're going to lose morale pretty easily. So you're going to be dropping down on morale pretty quickly, probably. I'm probably going to have to adjust these once we actually start playing. But I want the easy ones to be able to boost your morale so that when you get to the hard ones, it just kills you. And you boost your morale and then it kills you. I want there to be that kind of thing. Okay, so crew members are going to have actions. Discard one... discard one resource. Draw. Draw one. Yeah, so discard one resource, draw one. That's fine. As well you should. You are stranded! Yes, exactly. Okay, so for 2 points of resource value, we're going to have her have the ability to... I'm gonna put this guy. Discard, hand, heal, crew. Heal a crew. That's gonna be pretty strong. Discard one, draw two, I should say. And then Elise, being a 2 value, is gonna be... An action she can perform. Huh. Shoot, do I want to do something like... Maybe I do something like this. And then here, I do... all of your sustenance get +1 resource. Helps you beat the game. There's only one of these in the deck. There's only one Emily. I kind of like that. I kind of like that a lot. I'll do that for each of the different types. All right. Okay. All right, this is not so bad here. And then the events can be pretty tough. They're mid-range events. Actually, I could make these... If you take them, if you win a crew member, you take out... Yeah, take out 5, 6, and 7 value. This is just bad shit that happens to you. Tragedy, destroy all, or yeah, lose, a crew member, lose, discard, sustenance cards, lose a green crew member. I mean, the likelihood. What's up, Moby? Hey, man. This is a... this game here is a... Oh, man. Let me reset it real quick. I'm not going to go over the whole thing again. I have a video of it on YouTube, but this game here is a co-op survival game. However, it's got a selfish twist to it. So if it's a, I'm calling it like a selfish co-op game, kind of like how Munchkin is a selfish co-op game, except this is more co-op than selfish, but it will be, because you have to actually survive events as a team as opposed to individuals surviving an event like in Munchkin. And so it's completely based off Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So you base... Let's see how to sum this up pretty quickly. There's a card in the center that you're going to bid for to be the resource value. And so you're going to bid using cards, and if I have 3 cards, I can bid as many of the same colored cards as possible. So you have green is going to be sustenance, red is defense, and yellow is shelter. So that's taking care of the first 2 stages of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And then let's say I bid 2 cards, right? And I get this card. Sweet. Now I have 2 resource that I'm actually adding to our team. 2 defense resource. And then I flip these over one at a time, and we have to compete against the events that are on the opposite sides of these cards. So we have to beat this event, and then we have to flip this over and beat this event, and then there's a fail and a success that comes out of it. So you want to work together as a team because of the way that it works, but however, you also want to be the best because tragedy cards, if a tragedy card comes in and it's a tragedy, it just happens, but the person with the most influence, which this is the influence track right here, they get to decide who it happens to. And so they become the bad guy, but they also are the leader, so they have to make the tough decisions. And then everybody wants to kind of gang up and on the person with the most influence because they want to be in charge, they want to knock that person down, but at the same time, being in charge means that anytime you fail something, it's more likely that you're going to get screwed instead of everybody else because you're the leader of the group. So there's a lot of psychology to it. The game is called Stranded. The whole point is that you're supposed to be, trying to help everybody succeed in this mission, but at the same time trying to complete your own personal goals. So there are going to be goal cards that you have. For example, one goal card might be fight and win against 3 yellow. Like shelter cards, right? Shelter events. So I just bid 3 shelter in order to get this card, and then we have to flip these over, and let's say we beat all of them, I would then be able to flip over my goal card, and my goal card would be, it would give me 5 points, and whoever has the most goal points at the end of the game wins the game, regardless of who has the most influence, although the person with the most influence will also gain 5 points at the end of the game. So, and then if, there's a morale track, too, that if you have really low morale, you draw less. If you have high morale, you win. You get to draw more. And if you have 0, like neutral morale. You know, everyone's just kind of slugging along. Nobody gets any bonuses from it. So yeah, that's the idea of the game. In as quick as I could. So not quite like Dead of Winter. Sort of, kind of, not exactly. Because there is a leader ends up creating a really interesting dynamic from what I'm seeing. So right now what I'm doing is, I don't think I've actually shared this, but I might as well. Let's do to the advanced. We want to give people, anyone with a link can view this. So I will show you guys, if you're interested, you can look at that. And then if you're interested in looking at more of the rules and stuff like that in my working it out document, you can go ahead and click there. And I'm sure that, you know, you might want to play this game as soon as I'm done with it. So right now I'm designing all the sustenance cards. There are 20 cards of each color. Plus there are going to be, I think there are going to be 30 goal cards. So right now I'm just designing the 3 different colors. This is the green section. This is sustenance. And then from here I'm going to duplicate this and then just turn it into the defense and the shelter decks. I think that'll work. I think that'll work pretty well as far as getting this game to be a complete game. I also, what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to make all of these 10 cards, and then I'm going to after I make these 10 cards, I'm actually going to build a deck of 60 cards based around all of these. They'll just be different colors, and then I'll test it out a little bit more to see like the likelihood of some of these numbers coming up and how often tragedies come up and stuff like that. Because I want to get an idea of the flow of the game. So before I go designing all 60 cards, I'm going to design 10, see how it works, and then design the other 20 after I probably will tweak these a little bit. Like, oh man, 4 morale, losing 4 morale is so big. That's so brutal. So that kind of thing, yeah. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I'm sorry. I was in my head for a second there. Let's keep going. I have an eyelash on my tongue somehow. Interesting. So we are working on, oh yeah, the crew. So the crew members, I'm just picking Joe, Elise, and Emily for right now. If you have a crew member, they're a type of resource card, except they have generally weaker stats, but they do really cool things. I'm actually going to make this a 1, this one a 2, and this one a 3 here. So for example, I'm worth 3. My card is worth 3. Resource, sustenance resource. However, I have an activated ability on it that allows me to discard one resource card and draw 2 other cards. I can do that once per turn. I'm actually going to make that 1 and 1. Now, these are really rare. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. I might find that these guys are a little overpowered, but yeah, absolutely, Moby. Yeah, it kind of like how every turn in, every round in Dead of Winter, you have that goal. It's a group goal, but in this case, they're individual goals. The group goals are overcoming the events, which is sort of like the group goal in Dead of Winter, yes. Yeah, so it's kind of like pseudo Dead of Winter. Yeah, I mean, is it too much like that? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I don't think it's too much like that. I think this will be okay. So Elise is really, she's pretty powerful. She's worth 2 resources, but she can discard her hand to heal a crew member. Healing a crew member means that they are able to, like, when a crew member is wounded, they can't use their ability, and they can't draw an extra card for you at the beginning of your turn. So healing a crew member is very powerful. The problem is if she gets hurt, what happens? It's kind of like that thing where if the doctor gets hurt, who helps the doctor? The doctor has to try to help themselves, you know, so, and by telling people, but what if they're really wounded and they can't help themselves? Well, now you guys don't have a doctor, too bad. So she's the doctor of the group in a way. And then we have Emily. Emily is all of your sustenance cards get +1 resource. That is huge. So if I have 3 sustenance cards, a 1, a 2, and a 3, I'm actually getting 3 on top of that. So that's 9 value instead of 6 value, which is huge. And people would then look to me for sustenance, you know, winning sustenance battles. However, if I win sustenance battles, I'm going to end up getting more influence, and more influence is good, but also bad. I think this is coming together really well. I really like this. So there is no... Oh, so then we have to create an event for them. Let's create an event. The event is a 5, 6, and 7. So let's look at what 5, 6, and 7 are up here. I mean, we could just copy these right here and paste these in and just look at them. So highest influence draws 2 cards. I mean, we could just duplicate this one here. Or these could be really special types of events. Yeah, you know what I'm going to do is everyone discards 1 card. Actually, yeah, we'll do 2 cards here. And then everyone loses 2 morale. So the crew cards will be an everyone effect. And then everyone loses... oh, sorry, not everyone loses 2 morale. That doesn't make sense. Lose 2 morale. That's kind of an everybody thing. And it's lower effect than some of these things up here. So you guys could just like, we don't win it. That's okay. Lose 2 morale. It's not a super big deal. And then, so everyone discards 2 cards, lose 2 morale. And then I like this one. I think we're going to do draw 2 more. Actually, draw 3 event, or draw 3 new events. Yeah, I think I kind of like that. And then we'll just take this, we'll delete that. So then this one will be specific for success. This one will be lowest influence gains 2. So now the lowest influence person has something in here. And then lowest influence draws 3 cards. Or 2 cards, 3 cards. Let's do 3 cards. And then lowest influence draws 2 goals. And we'll just do these 2 across the board. So lowest influence gains 2 influence if you win. The lowest influence draws 2 cards if you win, and the lowest influence draws 2 goals if you win. Everyone discards 2 cards. Everyone lose 2 morale. I think I'm going to say everyone. I don't want to discard goals. Lose 2 morale. I kind of like that. That's fine. Draw 2 new event cards. Right? Yeah, we'll just keep these 2s across the board. Everyone discards 2 cards. Draw 2 new event cards, lose 2 morale. I like this. I think that works out really well. It makes the crew cards really interesting and different from these. And then these are... So these 3 spots that I've kind of ignored right here, these are resource... actually, we're going to do this. 1 per crew. 1 per crew member. Yeah, I think I'm going to do this, actually. So the idea behind these cards is this is worth 1 sustenance per crew member, this is worth 1 sustenance per crew member, and this is worth 1 sustenance per crew member. So these could be good, but they could also be bad. What's up, Rascalot? Welcome. I know, my commands don't work right now. Unfortunately, MagiBot was killed. I know. And refer is a dead command as well, sadly. Bringing back those Dawngate memories. Okay. So I like the idea that this is worth 1 per... Alright, so this would be... Resource would be group hunt. This would be group gather. Like group, or forage, I should say. And then this one will be group hunt, group foraging, and group farming. There we go. And then the events. The events are going to be... The events are going to be brutal. This is going to be like... This is going to be... Let let's see, family dinner, or let's call this group dinner. Actually, event name for hungry crew. Small rations. There we go. So, crew dinner, and then we'll do what other sustenance thing could be an event. Crew does. They need food. Crew hunting. Or no, wait. Crew dinner. Everyone wants food. I mean, these could all be just crew dinner cards, but I'd like to try to get different ones. Petrus will never be killed. Petrus bot. Yeah. Oh man, Petrus. Or do you mean old man Petrus? Okay, so crew dinner. What other thing can you do with a group of people that requires you to overcome it with an amount of food equal to the number of people? So what about crew dinner is one good one. I know I keep saying it, but I'm hoping that it'll spawn another idea. Other reasons why... Oh, birthday. Birthday. Or celebration. And then, so a crew dinner where everybody sits down together and eats. Then you have celebration, or how about return from hunt? Return from hunt. Right? So the crew returns from a hunt, and they are exhausted and hungry, and they're famished. Oh, actually, I could do, instead of return from hunt, or maybe I'll do that down here, you need it per crew member because everybody needs to eat right now. So we need a food equal to the number of people that are hungry. How about celebration? I like. Returning from the hunt. I like. The other one, what was I thinking? How about people were rescued from being stuck in a hole? No, that'll be something different. That'll be something different. God, I need one more. Returning from a hunt, celebration, and what about strike? Like crew strike. They're like, fuck it, I'm not working unless I get food. I want more food. Nah, that's rough. I guess that would happen though, wouldn't it? Feats? I don't know what you mean by that. Like there's all the crew members perform some crazy feat. Why would all of the crew be hungry at the same time? Feast. Oh, yeah, well, that's what the celebration is. That's the celebration. What would bring everyone together and say, I demand, or we demand food? There's a celebration, which makes sense. So that's going to be clearly like a morale loss. One second here, guys. Going feeble. Yeah, starvation. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what some of these things are up here. Lose 1 morale per player. We'll just put lose 3 morale. Average crew members in, yeah. And then return from hunt. If you fail, then everyone discard 1 card randomly. No, I don't like that. Shoot, why is this so hard? I mean, you know what? I could just put celebration for 3 of them. Like, I could put just, do I want that? That's cheap, right? That feels cheap. It feels cheap. I mean, you do need to have some sort of, well, actually, how about a celebration and, yeah, the thing is, I want the names now so that I feel like it makes thematic sense. I know I could do temp name and stuff like that. I feel like I need to make it make sense a little bit right now so that it feels good. Alright, success is gain 5 morale. So that's 1 card in the deck that will gain you 5 morale, and if you lose it, you lose 3 morale. So it's not super big deal. It's the only one where you gain... Look at this. This is lose 5 morale, gain 3 morale. This is the reverse. I didn't even mean to do that, but that's good. I'm glad that's in there. And it's a low threshold, really. So it's a low threshold way to gain a lot of morale, which could be good. What other... Maybe I'll just put crew dinner, which will be slightly less. It'll be, if you fail, discard, everyone discard, oops, sorry, that's supposed to be 1 per crew. If you fail, everyone discard 2 cards, 1 card per crew member. That's pretty brutal. 1 card per crew. If you succeed, everyone draw 1 card per crew. Yeah. Okay. Whoops. Everyone with an E. Okay. Discard your cards, draw the same number of discarded cards. Yeah, I actually like that one. We'll do that one. Everyone... Well, no, that's kind of a... It's kind of a negative positive. It's kind of a net 0 thing. I don't think I want to do that, actually. It seemed like a good idea, but I'd rather... Huh. I'd rather not, I think. Rather not. Decent idea, though. Good thinking. Oh, how about everyone draw 1 goal? There we go. So we'll make this simple. Everyone draw 1 goal. And if you lose, everyone discard 1 goal. So that's gonna be brutal, but there's only gonna be 3 of those in the deck. Only going to be 3 in the deck. Actually, no, Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it out. I've got to. So, tragedies. Discard sustenance cards. Lose. Or I should say discard sustenance resources. And then lose sustenance. Lose 2 sustenance cards. So discarding cards are the face down ones. Losing are the face up ones. Shoot. Tragedy. Lose 1 sustenance crew member. Or actually I should say lose 2 sustenance crew member or crew or 1 of another type. I see that's tragedy. Yeah, I think that one's going to be starved to death, basically. Lose 2 sustenance cards. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to keep that one. And then discard sustenance resources. The thing is, I really want this to happen to other people. Discard sustenance resources. Or how about, whoops. How about wound 2 crew members. Wound a crew member. Actually, that one I actually want to be kill a crew member. He goes away entirely. Wound up to 3 crew members. No, let's not do crew. Tragedy is fail the next 3 event cards from the deck. Automatic, just fail the next 3 event cards from the deck. That's terrifying. Kill a crew member. That's completely kill them. Discard sustenance cards. So discard. One player discards their hand. Lose 2 lose 2 sustenance cards. So that seems to make sense. Lose 2 sustenance cards. That's pretty good. We're gonna do lose 3 sustenance cards. So we have fail the next 3 event cards from the deck, kill a crew member, 1 player discards their hand, lose 3 sustenance cards. Okay. The kill a crew member, though, I want there to be... There's going to be 3 of those cards in the deck, and there's 9 of them. I think that's acceptable. Basically, kill a crew member and fail the next 3 event cards. All the tragedies are going to be very similar, but this one, lose 3 sustenance cards. That's specific to the green cards. 1 player discards their hand. Yeah, I think that's fine. Basically, it's going to be these, but then... So I think we fucking did everything. These ones are not applicable. Should I instead make these all go left? I think so. We'll do that. Okay. All right, I'm pretty happy with these. I think I could actually make these now. I think I'm going to take a break, though. I want to go get some food. I'm pretty starving, so I'm going to stop stream here. I think I've made some good progress. I haven't come up with event names. Let's finish the event names. I haven't finished this. And then I'll go get lunch, and then I'll come back and I'll actually make these cards. Maybe I'll make these cards off stream. And then the next time I come back, we'll actually play test. I think that's what I'll do. I'll make them off stream. So yeah, let me go ahead and look at these event names. So this is group farming. The event name would be, wait, everyone discards one card, everyone draws one goal. This is, event name is per crew. Why do they need food? Per crew. Per crew. This is the one I got stuck on before. Let's move on. Okay, so crew members. The event is everyone discards 2 cards. Lowest influence gains 2 influence. So we'll call this a infighting, right? And then we'll do this one. Lose 2 morale. Lowest influence. I mean, we could call this all infighting. Draw 2 new events, lose... Oh, so this one would be... Why are these sustenance-based, though? How are these sustenance-based from the crew members? First of all of your sustenance gets +1 resource. So maybe maybe it is... Draw 2 new event cards. Lowest event influence draws 2 goals. Interesting. Oh god, I almost fell backwards. That's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I guess yeah, event name for a tragedy, lose 3 sustenance cards. This would be famine. This one is 1 player discards their hand. This would be called starvation. And then this one, kill a crew member, would be poisoning. And then fail the next 3 event cards from the deck. This one would be called wow, this is just like utter destruction. Poisoning. Famine, starvation, poisoning, and another food-related mishap is empty stores. Yeah, so basically you have to go out and find food, and in doing so you come across these next 3 events. Okay, I'm happy with this. This is still the one that we have left over. Crew dinner, celebration, and everyone discards 1 goal. Okay, so this is food strike. How's that? Just call it a food strike. People don't want to do anything, and that deals directly with goals. Okay, I'm good. I'm out. I'm done. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to probably make these cards off stream, and then I'll be back on to do a playtest at some point. Have a good day, guys. Let's see. What's today? Today's Thursday. I am going to do gymnastics tonight, so maybe it won't be tonight, but we shall see. Stay classy, and keep designing, guys. We'll catch you later. Have a good day.